Have you ever been in a hot air balloon? And if you had the chance, would you do it? Well, these two heroic figures did, and their journey was quite scary. My name is Brandon Keith Avery, and this is just my opinion. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Thank you so much for tuning in to my opinion/review for the Aeronauts. I really do appreciate it. And if this is your first time finding me and you want more movie reviews, trailer reactions, television recaps, or just me responding to entertainment news or anything I think is cool, please right now click on that subscribe button and also the bell so you can be notified when I make uploads, and you will be on your way. The Aeronauts is a film that snuck up on me. I did not know about this film a number of months ago, which I normally do with films, especially when it comes to things like this, to actually pique my interest. But when I saw the trailers, I was like, oh, I gotta see this if I have a chance, and I'll just go ahead and say that I'm glad that I did. Now, this is being written and directed by Mr. Tom Hopper. If you don't know Mr. Hopper, he did a film called War Book that came out in the UK in 2014. I haven't seen it. The Woman in Black 2, Angel of Death, and Wild Rose. So I haven't seen any of those films, and if you have, please comment below. But what fascinated me about this film, besides just it being inspired by a true story, it is the actors, the lead actors in this film, and I am a fan of all three of them. We have Eddie Redmayne, Himesh Patel, and also Felicity Jones. Now, Felicity Jones, she was in the horrible film TASM. That stands for The Amazing Spider-Man 2. That film is garbage, but she has worked with Eddie Redmayne before, and of course, well, not of course, but the film The Theory of Everything that came out in 2015, she was nominated for an Oscar in that film, and actually Eddie Redmayne won the Oscar for that film. So, there was a couple. He was Stephen Hawking, who's not here anymore. He was a genius, and she was the wife, and they did a great job in that film. She was also Jyn Erso in the Rogue One, the Star Wars movie, and also The Basis of Sex, which came out, I think, either earlier this year or last year. So she can act very, very well. And of course, Eddie Redmayne can too. Like I just said, he won the Oscar for The Theory of Everything. He was also in The Danish Girl, and right now he is in the film franchise of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, which is in the Harry Potter land. I've tried that series in the show, but I don't know. It's just not my cup of tea. I mean, you would think that I would like that type of stuff, given everything else that I talk about, but I just really can't get into it. But anyway, and last but not least, we have Himesh Patel, who I am a fan of as well. He was in the film that came out earlier this year, Yesterday, and I thought that he did a great job in that film. I thought his performance and, the role and just the movie itself was phenomenal. So, already we have a great cast that is leading this film, and that's just one of the things that did get me excited. And as far as me being excited and my expectations and things like that, I like this type of stuff. I like discovering new things, going off into the sky, the wilderness, space, time travel, black holes, wormholes. When I'm bored sometime, I'm always Googling, what would happen if all the insects disappeared, or what would the world look like if there was no water, things like that. So when you have characters just kind of going, I'm not going to say into space, but into the air, trying to discover things in 1862, that fascinates me. So that's just kind of like another reason why I was looking forward to this. And I just say all that to say that my expectations were pretty high, and we all know that expectations will warrant how you feel about a film. But what is this film, The Aeronauts, about exactly? In 1862, pioneering meteorologist James Glacier, played by Eddie Redmayne, teams up with daredevil balloon pilot Amelia Wren, Felicity Jones, to advance human knowledge of the weather and fly higher than anyone in history. While their voyage to the very edge of existence helps the unlikely pair find their place in the world, they face physical and emotional challenges in thin air as the ascent becomes a fight for survival. And yes, it was a fight for survival. And if you just want to know a definition of an aeronaut, a traveler in a hot air balloon, airship, or other flying craft. Well, guys, I said that my expectations was high, and they were. And I really did love this film. It was one of the best in 2019. Not necessarily going to say it's my favorite, but it is the best as far as it's made. And it's just like a fun, exciting film, and it's just a fun adventure. And you guys know me, I love a film, a movie that gets straight to the point. Because, I mean, this is a period piece in 1862. And while that period per se may not excite me unless, we're dealing with a, particular story, that interests me and, my personal interests. The film starts off with the hot air balloon and them just going off, because they could have easily just tried to develop the characters, let you know the world, the setting, with a ton of dialogue and exposition and just stuff that, most people, or not most people, but some people may not care about. But that's not the case with this movie. As soon as the movie starts off, within like the first 5 minutes, you're at a parade and they have the balloon up and they're talking about, hey, let's go into the sky. And then Felicity Jones' character comes in there, Amelia, doing her thing, trying to entertain the crowd, and they're off in the air or whatever on their adventure. And it's just like, very exciting. And I just really, besides the performances, which I'll get to, I just really like the way this film is structured, the way it was edited, and then the way it was told. And then again, the film is not long at all. It's only 1 hour and 40 minutes. So it's short and it just flies by. And one of the great things about the film itself, with this being inspired by true events, is it's told in real time. Because while the movie itself is 1 hour and 40 minutes, that's about how long these two explorers are, in their expedition in the sky, in their hot air balloon. But with what are they trying to do? What is the goal? Are they just bored and want to be like, oh, I just want to go fly in the balloon or whatever? No. Eddie Redmayne, he's a meteorologist, he's a scientist. Amelia, she's the pilot, of course. So you need both of those people. He's trying to predict the weather, because he's tired of, floods and droughts and famine and things like that. And he has a theory. He's just saying to himself, okay, hey, if we're able to predict the weather, then, we can do better farming. And we don't, like I just said, we don't got to worry about farms and famine and floods and things of that nature. We can prepare ourselves and everybody can have a better life. And so in this film, what he's doing is, he is discovering all the different levels of the atmosphere. I mean, it's been a while since I learned all this in elementary school, but, you got the troposphere, the stratosphere, the mesosphere, and the thermosphere. And that's what he is discovering in their journey. And it's just the way it's told. I just got to give it to Thomas Hopper, because not only did he write a great film, he directed a great film. And I'm going to get to, more of the reasons why. But when it's told in real time, and another thing that I just liked and that it stood out to me is just, some of the imagery that we got, the long shots, and how like 15 or 20 minutes, they go to this same shot and show the journey of how far these two characters have traveled in the air, and the way that they use the image and just some of the graphics that they use. It really does put a lot of things in perspective. And when I was reading the synopsis, the last line, it says, as the ascent becomes a fight for survival. Like, real talk, you see it in the trailers or whatever. They have to go through all types of horrific weather, ice cold, hot, well, not really hot, but cold air, and like a storm and all that, going through thunderstorms and lightning storms and all of that. And it's like really scary. And the way that Tom Hopper is using the camera, flailing this balloon around, and the characters flopping like rag dolls, hanging on from their dear life like a thin line of thread. I'm just like, wow, this is like really intense, and I really wasn't expecting this. Even though I saw it from the trailers, I was like, whoa, this is like a true action adventure right here, and while at times this could have seemed like a drama, and I was just saying to myself, man, these two characters I have so much respect for, because I mean, like, they are true daredevils, they are really putting their life on the line, to pursue their passion and try to, create a better world for everyone down below. And I wouldn't want to do this. I mean, this is insane when you see what they have to go through to make all these discoveries. And yes, they have, egos back and forth. It's like, look, I'm the pilot. Okay, I know how to fly this balloon. I'm the scientist. We have to go here and we have to discover this, and I need these notes. And it's like, hey, you dumbass, why didn't you pack these type of clothes? You need these thermal, and I'm spitting everywhere. You need these thermal clothes or whatever. I think she called them like oil suits, or I can't remember exactly, but he's like, no, I couldn't use the clothes because I needed to bring my tools, and I thought that the tools are more important than the clothes. And she's like, you gonna freeze to death. And he's like, shut up, I know what I'm doing. Well, I know what I'm doing. And just like the banter that they're going back and forth, whatever, is very entertaining, but at the same time, like, both parties are right and both parties are wrong. And, you know, who knows what these characters said, you know, per se exactly, you know, because this was done in 1862. So we're not going to have like, well, I mean, we could, I don't know if they wrote it down and it was passed on through, you know, historians, but it is very compelling, and it is very, very entertaining. And, you know, I was loving every bit of it. Now, of course, we want to also know what's going on down below. So while the film does start out with them going in the air balloon, you know, and the whole thing is, it's not like a drastic adventure. They do calm it down. They do go back and give you flashbacks of how they led up to this point, how the two characters met, you know, what motivates them, and just all the surrounding relationships that they have, you know, whether they're good relationships with their friends, families, or colleagues, or bad relationships. And, you know, Eddie Redmayne, you know, his name is not Eddie. His real name is Eddie Redmayne, but his name is James Glacier. You know, he had an uphill battle to fight as far as getting funds, you know, for trying to go in this expedition. And it just wasn't a cakewalk. You know, a lot of people gave him a hard time, and, you know, understandably so. I mean, something like this has never ever been done before, you know, but I do really respect, you know, his drive and him just not really wanting to give up, and him continuing to press on even though doors are being slammed in his face. And then, you know, as we're getting these scenes, flashbacks from the present time in this film, and also flashbacks before, mixed in with the expedition and them going, you know, in the hot air balloon, discovering the different levels of the atmosphere and things of that nature. I mean, it's structured very well, and there are really no dull moments in this movie. And when you have these two actors like this, you know you're going to get great performances. And yes, guys, the performances are great. I'm not going to necessarily say that, you know, it's the best that I've seen this year, but they are, you know, very, very good. And just kind of seeing how the weather is affecting them, and how, you know, there's a lack of oxygen in the brain, and how that, you know, affects their psyche and their well-being, and just kind of breaks them down. You know, it's like, whoa, you know, this is quite scary, and they're just wanting to push on, and that arrogance is coming through. But also, the soundtrack is great as well. Another great thing that Tom Hopper does is with the camera. I mean, there's no way, of course he had to use a green screen. They didn't just, I mean, maybe there was a shot or two where they actually was in a hot air balloon, but like the way that this movie was made as far as visually and the shots was breathtaking. I mean, I was just sitting there in awe, like, damn, bro, how did you shoot this film? It looks so real. It really feels like they are way up in the air. And I believe they got to about 37,000 feet. I could be wrong there, but if I am, correct me in the comments. But it was beautifully shot. It was beautifully made. And some of these camera angles and shots or whatever, like I said, were just like, man, you really did that there. So I just got to give you a thumbs up. And also the soundtrack is great too, or the score. And when you see in the trailers how Amelia's character, she's climbing up on the balloon, because I think I wrote it down. It was some part of the balloon that froze, and she wasn't able to, you know, drive the balloon, you know, maneuver the balloon or fly the balloon or whatever the way it should. So she had to like climb on the top. Or when this scene right here just stands out to me so much, how she would just climb and just you know, 20, 30,000 feet in the air, freezing to death. I'm not finna die up here. I gotta save the day. I'm just like, yeah, go. Yeah, do your thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was into it. I'm in there like, yes, you know, this is intense. This is really intense. This is entertaining. So I really did enjoy the film, guys, if you couldn't tell already. And if this film does interest you, please go see it, because I think you'll have a great time. It'll be in theaters, I think, December 6th, and you know, it'll also be on Amazon Prime. But guys, I love the film. If I had to rate the Aeronauts out of a 1 out of 10, I'm going to give this thing a 9 out of 10. Yes, a 9 out of 10. So Guys, let me know down in the comment section below. Are you a fan of Felicity Jones and Eddie Redmayne? Does this film pique your interest? Or are you a fan of Tom Hopper, the writer and director? And have you ever been in a hot air balloon? And if you had the chance, would you do it? But guys, that is just my opinion. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you like this video, please go ahead and give me the thumbs up. And also, please click that subscribe button. Become one of my subscribers. I just hit 15K. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it. And let's move on to 20K. Also, look me up on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. It's in the pinned comments. It's at the bottom of your screen, and it's also in the description box, so you have no excuse. Just click that button. Help me reach 1,000 followers on Instagram. But guys, I just want to thank you again for tuning in to my opinion/review for the Aeronauts. And before you go, don't forget to always chase your dreams, because I'm chasing mine. My name is Brandon Keith Avery, and that's just my opinion. Peace.